Hello, good morning, live from St. Louis in a brick building. It's Chris Denman, Grand Center, St. Louis, Missouri, Midcoast Studio. Check out midcoast.media for more information. Joining me in the studio, trusty intern Thomas Mosslander III, and the producer, Christopher Gardner. Good morning, Mr. Gardner, Mr. Tommy. I'm jumping right to the big star, though. We've got a big star coming live from New York, and he appears to be in a franchised Chinese restaurant. Good morning, Travis Terrell in New York.
Ning Hao.
What was that?
Ning Hao.
Marvis Morel live from P.F. Chang's in Brooklyn, New York. Gardner had himself a little bit of time to play last week, so we've got a brick background for those of you just listening at home. And Travis has a chyron that says he's live from P.F. Chang's in Brooklyn, New York. Gardner,
these egg rolls are good, man. These some good-ass egg rolls.
Yeah, they were like, breakfast one, sir? You're like, you know what? No, I feel like a midday egg roll. Where's the pork at? Let's do it. Good for you, Travis. I'm proud of you. You're doing it, man.
One of these days you should come on with Chinese food, though. That would be
if we catch him on the right night, he might still be up. Like he grabbed some on the way home. Yeah. I think that could happen. Travis, you're in New York. You're working on the Sesame Street Fellowship. How was your weekend, sir? Did you get a few things done?
All work, no play for Travis Terrell this weekend. Had some deadlines I needed to meet yesterday afternoon, so spent most of my weekend taking care of that business because that's the life of a screenwriter. No life at all.
Do we believe his Twitter account is against what he just said? There was a lot of great pop culture references and timely updates and sports updates as well that would tell me you enjoyed the weekend a little, man. Come on.
I mean, there were television and then there's social media. It wasn't. But I wouldn't consider that activities. I don't think you would consider that an activity.
I think you want people to think you're locked in a room staring at Big Bird like, we're going to get through this, man. We're going to work our way through this. I'm going to write you the best script you've ever seen. See, that's what I think the picture you're trying to paint. I picture you with a bag of flamin' Cheeto nacho Dorito things, and passively writing
Cheeto nacho Dorito thing.
That's the technical term, Tommy. Go ahead and write that down, please. Thank you. Copyright Chris Denman on that one. Make sure Doritos doesn't steal that from us. So you're not just writing a great line at a time in between passive Netflix watching and staring out the Brooklyn window that you reside behind?
What we try to do while working with Sesame Street is just give the characters something to work with. They are professional. They've been doing this for a long time. You don't want to disturb that chemistry, especially with Big Bird. He's the kind of guy that comes on set, knows his lines, jumps right into the performance, and then he's ready to head back to his trailer. So it's my job as a screenwriter to give him the necessary material, not necessarily to restrict Big Bird, but for him to expand his performance. And so that's what I was working on this week, and finding ways so he can grow his performance as Big Bird, his character arc. We've followed it for almost 50 years. So it's important that we have a strong payoff in the end, and that's what I try to do with Big Bird.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. The weekend that was saw a few things. Gardner, in the description, you said Travis is growing New York elitism. I was asked by 3 different people, and I don't get out much, if Travis was playing the part, if he was being really mean, he's changed, or if it was a decision that we all made for Travis to be meaner on this. So people are taking note. They're getting upset. You've insulted the Arch, Toasted Ravioli, and even a Nelly album. It's getting to a point where hometown's watching, bro. It's interesting. And Gardner, you have thoughts. You've brought yourself to the screen.
First off, good morning, gentlemen in studio, Chris and Tommy. Good morning, Mr. Terrell from Brooklyn, New York. And good morning, Walnuts. There we go. That's the fun. That's the fun part. Yeah, I actually had a local radio producer ask me, hey, why Travis take We Are Live off his Twitter bio?
Is this true?
Yeah, this is breaking
You can check
news.
this out right now.
Right, yeah, this is good. This is good.
They've heard the Hayseed Act too. I think we should call it the Hayseed Act.
Yeah,
I like
they
that
should.
better.
Yeah. Where he gets to.
He did.
Yeah.
And he replaced it with Sesame Street writing fellow.
So
Well, it's not. I mean,
one
that's
could
true.
one could argue.
Yeah, but there's room for more.
There is room for more. That's a very good point,
One
Tommy.
could argue you don't want to put that fire and ice together. I'll step up for Travis. I'll step up for Travis with some of his creative choices or our creative choices as a whole over the last 4 years may not jive with someone
Might
who's
be
vying to be part of the
part of-
greatest television show in the history of children's television.
Might be part of the cleansing process.
Can I put it in my bio?
Oh, good question.
As long as it's precluded by intern.
Maybe if
that's
you
fine.
stop wearing capri pants, then we can.
They're
give
not
the-
capris, all right?
You got to see, Travis. I wish you could be here.
They're
Tommy's
not
saying,
capris, all right?
what are they then?
They're
right.
shorts.
Tommy says he's wearing shorts that are too big for him, and they look like capri.
not-
Man
Let me
priest.
see your legs.
If I
Let me
stood
see
up,
your
like-
legs, Tommy.
Okay.
Let me see your legs. Come on, put them on the table.
Travis, stop
Let's see your
saying that
legs.
phrase. Oh no, he just
You
jumped
might have
up.
to lay on the table.
Yeah,
Tommy.
try to jump.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
just lay on the
boy.
table, Tommy.
Get on the front of
Just
the
lay on
table.
the table, Tommy.
Get on the
Just
front
lay on the front of the table, Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
There you go.
just kind of lay.
Let me see
There
it
we
to your
go.
legs.
We're working this out. Oh, now see, you've rolled them up. They go mid shin whenever he's standing.
Yeah, they're going
Yeah,
down.
They're past his knee.
way
Yeah.
down past his knee.
We're talking
No, they're
top of the
shorts.
shin.
You're good, Tommy.
Travis, you're not
Yeah,
getting the
you're-
proper view. It's not the proper view. When he stands
You know what?
up,
They are very long. Like they're long, big shorts.
Long, big
they
shorts.
go
Like board
mid shin.
shorts.
No, they're not board. That would be
Thank you. He got it.
That would be a surfboard the Big Bird could actually use if those shorts do not work for them. No, they're man prees.
It's
Tommy,
going
they
in the
just
note-
hating on your frame, dog. You're in great shape.
Thank you.
You got a
I
nice
got
young
great
body.
leg muscles, yeah.
Very svelte. I think they're just jealous.
We're not even going to talk about the socks. They do look. It looks like Big Bird's leg. Did you do that for Travis?
Aw.
Oh boy.
I got to write down Tommy quotes from now on, and maybe we put those at the end of the week. The first one being, I've got great leg muscles.
Mm-hmm. Could we just do 10 minutes of Tommy discussing himself to open every show, Trav? I think that's something we could finally agree on.
Well, don't most shows have a comedian that opens up, that starts in front of the audience and gets them
Audience
warmed up?
warm-up
Maybe
guy.
that can be Tommy.
Yeah.
That can be Tommy.
I make the notes, which means I held the records, and it's going in the records that I'm wearing shorts.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So you
See?
are Evil Bran.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Which brings me to last night. We don't have to go super spoiler on this. Travis, did you watch Game of Thrones last night? Your tweets would say you did.
I did watch the finale of Game of Thrones. It was something.
Yeah.
It was something. It was, that's for being honest, it was disappointing. It was underwhelming. It had some moments visually. I thought the first 10 minutes of the finale visually was very cinematic, very well done in regards to cinematography. After that, though, I thought it missed a great opportunity to build the momentum from the previous episode. And before you know it, was 40 minutes left in the final episode, and all the action was gone. So it turned into like the season finale of One Tree Hill. Got very underwhelming, to say the least. I don't know where to start. As far as I love
Travis,
the series.
Yeah.
I love the series. I really thought the writers did their best, especially without having George R.R. Martin's material to fall back on. But I was left wanting a little bit more than what I got.
I have to agree with you. I'm actually a little upset with you. Your entire existence in whatever media landscape we've been in has been overreaction, insanity, and then I just nibble up the crumbs off of that. I want to pull a Travis Terrell and lose my shit right now because I got a little tired of it because I've been carrying their damn water all season long saying, you know what, it's fine. They'll wrap it all around. It was a piece of shit. It sucked, and it was.
Chris is
it
mad.
It was such a good thing, and then now I'm realizing, wow, all these things and all these dumb things that they tricked us into thinking meant something. Oh, there's a comet. Oh, somebody stayed alive for a reason. Oh, the big autistic guy, he's gonna be around for something. The whole time. For not. I want to take the Travis Terrell approach. I want to put a little gasoline on the fire because it was not worthy of it. If you wanted that thing, go watch, I'm trying to think, go watch a sitcom on USA in the mid-90s. Like, this was crap. It was garbage. There was nothing. There was nothing.
Watch yourself, Tommy. My dad will get pissed
Yeah.
at you.
I love Burn
There's
Notice.
nothing redeeming about it. We can go watch A Kid in King Arthur's Court if you want this kind of crap, man. It was weak.
I think-
that was painful.
I think Travis is being underwhelming because the finale was underwhelming, and so he was just doing
It
that.
brought him down. It's
Yeah.
brought you down some, Travis.
It did bring me down a little bit because I think there was an opportunity to tell a great story, and there should not be a need to rush a series like Game of Thrones when clearly it is taking the entire production almost 2 years to create these stories, and then you leave 2 additional episodes on the table. If you wanted to slow play it, if you wanted to build the drama, the writers had an opportunity to do so, and I don't understand. And I think, Chris, you made the point last week. Maybe I do understand, and we just haven't had an official word on it. I think when it came down to it, it was the schedules of all the parties involved. I think it was the schedules of the screenwriters, the schedule of the actors. I think they had additional obligations, opportunities to make money elsewhere, and I don't necessarily blame them for that. But I think it took away from the final season, and I think they were a victim of their own success. I think this was a situation where the showrunners had gotten so big, where we heard them announce last week they were going to take on the Star Wars series. We already know what Sophie Turner is doing in the Marvel universe. And so we would imagine Kit Harington is on the verge of being the next big movie star as well. So these guys, it appears as if they had other obligations. That's why it made it so difficult to perhaps get the story that we wanted. And I don't know whether HBO to say that or the showrunners are afraid to say that. It was disappointing.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like you're allowed to take a peek behind the curtain because it's 2019, and the most common fan of anything, at least, is somewhat aware that business goes into this. We can no longer suspend disbelief and just be like, okay, well, this is just show business, and this goes great, blah blah blah. No, it's we're too aware. We're of everything, and they did such a great job with the story, with all the nuances, all these things. While they're allowed to have these issues that contribute to this, I'm now allowed to be like, what were you thinking? What was this? And now it just kind of goes back to, should you only make 6 seasons of something and just try and keep it short like Breaking Bad did, and before things get away from you, focus on that great ending. I don't know. I think it's just disappointing. It's not going to affect my my life, but I think we can complain about it a little bit.
My question is it still the best TV show ever, Travis?
I think this season, while I liked it, brought it back down to earth.
Yes.
Okay.
What did you think?
Great point.
Without saying, because spoilers, obviously.
I think we should
What
be
did you-
able to spoil it.
I do
this
too.
is, I mean,
but
that was
Travis
this,
is weird about it.
No,
so.
let's.
No, he wasn't. He was not weird about it. You have
I-
short memory. He was Mr. Spoiler for his entire life until he personally was affected, which is Travis's whole existence. That's his whole existence.
That's his brand.
That's his brand.
Travis, what did you think of who ended up on?
You can say it.
What did you think of Bran becoming king?
I didn't have a problem with the result. I had a problem with how we got it.
The process?
I did have a problem with the process. I think that's where most fans are today, is that they're fine with the way things landed for their favorite characters. They just don't know if they just just that the writers got them there, how they got them there, and I see those 2 episodes again. They did 6 this season, and I just can't help but wonder what you could have done with 2 more hours, especially when it comes to storytelling. There was moments in
Almost
that finale
3.
last night. Yeah, there were moments last night in that finale where you got 2 minutes dedicated to Brienne writing in the book, 5 minutes dedicated to the Hand and his new court discussing future matters in Westeros. Like, it just felt like wasted scenes, and that was the beauty of Game of Thrones. There wasn't wasted scenes for 6 seasons. Every scene mattered, and like in that finale, those final scenes meant nothing. They were throwaway scenes.
It was 11
And
minutes
I
of
don't.
silence.
Yes, so I don't. What is that?
I'll tell you
There
what
was
it
an
is.
opportunity to tell a story, and you not to. And I think from the pacing to the way the episode was structured, it was a time jump. Game of Thrones utilizing time jumps. That was bizarre, man. That wasn't the Game of Thrones we had been watching for the last 8 years.
Yeah, and that's why it's so confusing, and this is why it sucks to kind of know and this isn't We Are Live has the tap into HBO productions and budgets and everything else.
We might
it's
soon.
It's
Hey.
confusing. Yeah, there you go. It's confusing because it isn't what we've been. It's confusing because it isn't what we were watching, and unfortunately, the only explanation is that they were rushed and they had to turn in whatever. Again, I was literally carrying this damn thing's water a week ago, 6 days ago. The end of the
Amen.
day, the only thing that explains this is someone somewhere was like, "We got to wrap this shit up," and then they just turned in a subpar product to what you're used to. It was garbage.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Travis.
No, I was going to say, Chris. I think this may be the showrunners and HBO protecting the stars because the stars had made a major commitment to this show. But I think when it came down to it, I think the showrunners were pulled in different directions. The actors had other obligations. Like Son had maybe 7 minutes of screen time in the finale. So just judging by where the characters were, how much screen time they had, it looks like everyone was just ready to wrap it up because they had other major obligations that were going to be very important to their
For sure.
careers. And I think this was what HBO was left with. And they said, hey, okay, give us what you got, make it work with what we have. And this was the story that I think that's just unfortunate considering that you've kind of put the carrot out in front of this audience for the last 8 years. With all due respect to everybody else's important projects and other parts of their career, I wish they had gotten more time.
Now, is it normal in this show? I don't know. Now, who was on this throne before? Cersei?
There's a million. I mean,
Cersei?
sure. Yeah.
Cersei
Like-
was right before
Do-
Dany, right before Bronn.
Did she have a name? Like, I saw that this Bran fella.
This makes such a fun wrinkle. to
He
everything.
he gets named Bran the Broken.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
he did.
So-
why
some
is-
Westerosi branding, my friend.
So why-
branding?
Why is that? And also, I'm gonna have to think about this, and maybe we'll get to it tomorrow. But if, like, we got names like that, I wonder what ours would be.
Sugar Slayer.
Tommy the intern.
Perfect. Thomas the Unpaid.
Travis the Sugarfoot.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So who's Sugar Slayer? Who's Sugar Slayer in 2019 right now today on the show? Is it Travis because all he does is eat sugar, or is it me because you've taken annoyance with my lack of intake?
Yeah, it might be.
Okay, gotcha. And you are Gardner the biped. Like how do we
Gardner the
incorporate-
Annoyed.
Yeah, Gardner the
Gardner
Annoyed.
the
Yeah.
That's fair. There could be a constant.
Gardner
status
can't be
or-
bothered. That's his power.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
Gardner, don't involve me.
right.
Gardner the uninvolved. There it is. Gardner the uninvolved.
Yeah.
So why is
Gardner
this
the professional introvert.
So why does this Bran fella get named Bran the Broken?
This part was actually true to a character because a guy who is forward thinking and a planner and everything else, that was his best power. You got Tyrion, Peter Dinklage's character. He came up with it for branding purposes, literally. To say, hey, we'll get people behind him. He's got a great story.
Nothing
that
is
part
better
was
than
interesting.
A good story.
That part was interesting and true to the character. I'll give him that. Do you agree, Travis?
I thought in the book they referred to him as, and I didn't read the book, so someone will call me out and rightfully so it.
No,
I thought
say
they had him in the book as Bran the Builder.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not
Was it-
sure
was he-
about that because I also didn't read the
I
book.
believe there was a children's
look,
cartoon show.
None of us,
Bob the Builder.
None of us have read the book
The
on
Builder.
anything here, so let's be honest.
So we look like we read books.
You could say that about any movie. Did you guys read the book? No, we did not. Look at us. We did not.
I read the
we
Harry
watched
Potter
the movie.
books.
Can I admit something
Yeah.
that I haven't admitted in at least a few years? Maybe not when you guys were around. I think I read The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings stuff before I was like 7. Something
Really?
insane. Maybe like 7 or 8. And I used those for dead serious book reports, including college credit reports for my entire scholastic
I mean, hey,
career.
man.
Isn't that funny?
It worked.
Like, that's kind of fun. Yeah, because you could you didn't those are college level reading, but it was just fantasy stories that were acceptable. In,
That's what I do with Jurassic
things.
Park.
There's
Yeah.
there's a guy. I don't know the guy, but a friend does. He just got his doctorate at Wash U, and his thesis was on the economic impact of Star Wars,
Oh, nice.
No.
and I guess was able to defend it and use
And
that
he did
to
it.
gain
No,
a
that makes
doctorate. Yeah.
that makes sense, especially now. Whatever where you do peek behind the scenes, it's not just nerds, you like this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's advertising executives, there's people professionals on this. It's way more of a business. Meredith in the comments, actually, Tommy, you do look like you read books.
I do. I read It last year and Pet Cemetery, and they were good.
Any nonfiction?
Yeah, I've been reading a book about Kennedy. I'm gonna have to look up the name. I have it in my car.
Which Kennedy?
Robert Kennedy. I love Robert Kennedy.
Cortez Kennedy,
And
defensive tackle for the Seattle Seahawks.
I recently read Bruce Campbell's autobiography and Mark Maron's autobiography. So
Very nice.
yeah, I have Rob Lowe's in my backpack.
Well, we'll get to that.
Oh, look at Tommy trying to guide the show.
We'll get to that.
No,
We
no,
will
I
get
just
to
I was
that.
excited.
Oh no,
Anyway.
it's actually the most interesting thing any of us did.
Game
this
of
weekend,
Thrones.
So
Back to that.
We got 40 minutes of that. Quick reminder: Gateway Powder Coating sponsors this show. They're here to help you with all of your powder coating needs. Number one resource for powder coating in the Midwest. That's Gateway Powder Coating. Take your wheels, smokers, anything metal that needs powder coated to Gateway Powder Coating. Fast, durable, affordable. Check out the website, gatewaypowdercoat.com. Be sure to let Mark know that we are live. Send you out to check them out. So, Travis, just to put a button on it, and we can talk about it the whole damn show. We actually have a fair or foul and a poll to get to as well. Travis, real quick, will you watch any spinoffs from Game of Thrones and try and be involved with whatever stuff they try and feed us next to make up for this last season?
I think he is.
He's frozen. Let's
Yeah,
do
he's
let's do our
switching.
melee real quick since we're on Game of Thrones. Gardner, I threw this up. I just want to know on Twitter, are you happy with the Game of Thrones ending? There's some options out there you can check out. That's at We Are Live Radio on Twitter. How about fair or foul today? What do we got?
Well, fair or foul, we're looking back on something that happened last week, kind of trying to tie it in. The death of an icon. The death of a true icon, it seems, at least on social media. Grumpy Cat.
Grumpy Cat's gone. Now, is this near and dear to your heart being a feline supporter?
No, not really.
If you
I,
got-
I did see a funny picture of, I guess it's not funny necessarily, but it was kind of a cute picture. Tony La Russa holding Grumpy Cat. He posted that on his social media whenever Grumpy Cat passed at the age of 7. At the age of 7, a cat with dwarfism and an underbite, which made it so cute.
Yeah.
So damn cute.
I discussed this with Jordan Rock and Michael DeBay at length, and they were not having the Grumpy Cat love.
So the fair or foul is because Grumpy Cat became popular through social media accounts for pets. social media accounts for pets. I'm going to consider actually, maybe we have Wobbly Cat.
Be a-
Instagram, Twitter account.
Good
Here's-
boomerang
Oh, you see.
for Instagram.
I mean, Grumpy Cat, from what I read, pulled in around $100 million.
Oh,
So
What?
Yeah. I have to at least consider this now. With
Now, how is that possible? I'm curious.
I
How
don't
is
know.
that possible? That is it like? How do you brand a cat that does nothing?
Somebody memes it, and then it memes out of control, and then a movie gets made, and then merchandise gets made, and then the owners own the cat, so they get the money.
yeah, having the lock on that merchandise had to be their winning
That's a lot
formula.
of merchandise to move though for that. I don't
Yes,
That
know.
is a lot of merchandise.
And I'll
Well,
tell
that's
you,
what
Travis,
what the
I
internet
don't,
is.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know what I haven't really dove into the details of it. I've seen some of them. How they got there, I don't know. So
Also, they did meet and greets with the cat.
oh
So,
really?
Yeah.
I mean, there
'cause
are
that's why
cat-
there's
there are some-
pictures. Sorry.
There are
That-
insane cat lovers out there, so I would believe that.
I think the internet is. I mean, you see every video, everything like that. You've seen. There've been. There's. I want to say some kind of a meetup or convention or something that's literally just cat videos. So a large portion of people that are prone to get real involved and real emotional on the internet happen to be really into cats.
I know I got an email, and I don't know from who it was. They were doing something about cutest cat in St. Louis or something, and then you sent in a video, and then they were going to have like a get together for the finalist at like Del Mar Hall or something like that.
That is a scam.
And yeah, it was something along those lines. So I mean, people are going to take it to that extent, even on an, I guess, amateurish level.
That is a scam.
For the fair or foul, we've got $10 to Southtown Pub. Travis, who do you blame for most of social media accounts for pets?
It looks.
We're
like
missing
he,
Travis.
Like he froze up again.
The answer, white people. I'll go ahead and take that for him. See, I've done the show with him long
Yeah.
enough. I know kind of his,
And fill in
his
the blanks
brand
here
on
from
things.
time to time.
Yeah, and again too, it is actually, there's like part of me that wants to be a hater on the and I don't say the word hater a lot either, but I feel kind of dirty having said it. I do kind of want to hate on the Grumpy Cat thing, but then I'm like, well, yeah, but the people who made Napoleon Dynamite got to make a bunch of money, and that was a stupid, silly little pop culture thing.
All right.
Like, it's one of those things where, why not? Let people enjoy a dumb-looking cat. Why not, right?
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it could help me in the future as well.
I wish you would.
That's what I'm wondering.
I wish you would, because are you familiar? You probably don't know this part of Instagram. There's a thing called boomerang in the stories.
I know nothing about
It's,
Instagram.
I'll teach you later.
Yeah, there's a thing where it captures just like a piece. It's like a little clip, and it runs it backwards. If we got a bunch of boomerangs of Wobbly Cat, you could be, because they'd be like, oh, that's fun. That's fun that you use the boomerang magic, and you're like, no, this is the real thing.
Real thing,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and we could have Hillside Animal Hospital sponsor it, huh? With Dr. Ed.
I'm sure he would love that.
He would. He's a big Wobbly Cat fan.
He's a big fan of Ripley.
He is. Over the weekend, we had a lot going on, as in I did a bunch of laundry and stuck around, watched the finale. Our intern stepped it up. He
Yeah.
himself had himself a weekend. He previewed
Yeah, he
this on
did.
Friday. I'm just going to sit down and let Tommy tell a story for the next 31 minutes, and he can tell us all about it. No, Tommy went to Nashville, attended a Rob Lowe speaker series event, storytelling event, stories I only tell my friends. So not only is Nashville just kicking our ass in entertainment and tourism, they get Rob Lowe hanging out there on the reg. Tommy, give us the synopsis, the overview. Did you get your picture with him?
I did get my picture with him. Gardner, did you get that picture I sent you this morning? There we go. That's me and Rob Lowe. You can
Wow.
see I have a lazy eye in that picture.
That's embarrassing that Rob Lowe puts all of our bodies to shame.
He is,
30 years old.
guys, he is ripped.
Yeah.
You can't see. That picture does not do him justice.
Right.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
He is.
I mean, he's pushing 60 if he's not 60, right?
I don't know how old he is, but boy, oh boy, does he have a nice body.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, so So me and my dad, we went to Nashville. When we got to Nashville, we went to the mall. We were gonna get a hotel, but he blew all his budget at the Rainbow Forest Cafe at the mall. We spent 45 minutes in the Lego store, and then we were late for Rob Lowe. We got there at 8:01. The show started, thankfully, at 8:02. Yeah, we were
Yeah, you
lucky.
forget like big time productions, like they go
They
off.
start on
They
time.
go off, yeah.
So, first of all,
What's the Rainbow Forest Cafe?
okay, so it's this restaurant, right, that you go into, and it's got like animatronic animals.
Was your child little sibling with you?
No,
Was it just you and your dad?
it was just me and my dad.
Two grown men.
Two grown men.
Okay.
Well, I looked like a child. Two grown men
Take
in
advantage of that.
the
Sure.
Rainbow Forest Cafe. We sat next to fishes. My dad made me sit towards the door so that he could see the animals, which was great.
Did you need to say fishes?
The fishies.
Fish is plural, right?
Fi-
Like it's
fishies?
not a school of fishes.
Fish eye.
Mm.
Anyway.
Fishay.
Fishay.
It's French.
So,
So you're in Nashville.
yeah, we're in Nashville. We go to the Rainforest Cafe. It's a great time. We get to the
Okay.
show. We get into our seats, third row back. It's great. They start the show by playing this montage of Rob Lowe scenes, and then it goes dark, and then a spotlight, and Rob Lowe's just like right there. It was
Ooh.
Good
crazy.
production, huh?
Yeah.
How
it
did
was-
his body look?
you couldn't tell from like 30 feet away how good it
Okay.
looked. It was not until I got up close that I was like, boy, oh boy.
Oh,
Did you give his bicep a squeeze? You're like, hey,
no,
you got
I-
a little
no,
something going
no,
here.
I didn't then, but
Billy Fat Pants has a comment. He's got an issue with the photo that was taken.
Yeah.
Okay, let's-
Rob Lowe.
I'm
We'll
afraid.
throw back to it. This is at the theater. This is allegedly Tommy Mosslander. Billy Fat Pants says it's not Tommy. That's Tig Notaro with Rob Lowe.
all right.
Do yourself a Google search, Tig Notaro.
I'm
if you're not
aware of
familiar.
who Tig is.
Yeah.
I disagree with you. She has
You're
much
funnier
better hair.
than she is, so there's that.
Well, and she has much better hair.
She does. Let's give her that. Okay.
So-
So you're back to it. So,
So-
this looks like everybody's cleared out. Like
We take the pictures after the show.
Yeah.
It's a meet and greet after the show.
sold out theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Whew. So, me and my dad sit down in our seats. The lights come up. Everybody starts cheering, and that is when we noticed, because we got there late, so we didn't get a good look at the audience, that it is mostly 45-year-old women
What'd you
who have spray tans.
Yes.
What'd you think it was going to be?
I mean, it's in Nashville too, so that hair is big.
Yeah.
Big hair
well,
for that
yeah.
one.
He comes out, and one of the first things Rob Lowe says is, thank you all for coming, and a special thanks to all the men who were forced to come.
Oh, I didn't even think about that because I think of it. I'm like, oh yeah,
Neither
Rob
did
Lowe
I.
doing a comedy performance thing. That'll be fun.
Neither did I. And my
That's
dad,
a ladies' night out.
my dad just went,
Poor dad. Poor dad. Oh no.
because in this situation, he was the man who was forced to come.
Oh yeah. It wasn't his wife. It was his son.
Yeah.
His androgynous son
Yeah.
brought him. Oh no.
So the show continues. We got to see a video. I was telling Chris about this. It was real weird. He made a home movie, and he showed it when he was living in LA, about 15. The home movie was called The Beast, and it starred him.
You know, why the whole movie and the Rob Lowe thing, like you just don't Google search that, right? Like, was that a little weird? Did he have anything on that? He's like, not that whole movie,
Did he
guys.
say, like, I'm going to show
No.
the whole movie, and you go, no, don't!
Yeah.
I've already seen it!
No, he didn't show. He didn't even touch that.
About time.
He didn't even touch that thing he touched. Anyway, so the home movie stars him, his brother Chad Lowe, Emilio Estevez,
Oh.
Yes.
and then Charlie Sheen.
Oh.
It was all
amazing.
filmed in Martin Sheen's backyard. Oh boy,
this.
It's
It was
weird to
good.
think stars were normal children at one point. Well, as
Well,
normal
no,
as
these
star
guys
kids could
were
be.
not normal. They were wearing trash bags.
They were like, this is what poor people wear.
Charlie Sheen had a mustache like mine. It was great.
Let's see that. Well, there is a little something
But then there was
All
nothing
right.
else here, so it was gross. Yeah. So after the show, this is where it gets really cool. The show was cool. We asked questions. I didn't get to ask a question. He didn't pick on me.
They're not going to get a
He didn't
reaction.
pick you.
I know.
Yeah, not
Didn't-
pick on you.
I was going to say, in a crowd like that too, those people aren't going to be friendly to others. They're going to get real
they just-
nasty
they
and
just
real
raise their hand.
competitive. Well, I was going to say, if they see,
This one guy, he kept his hand up the entire time until he was picked. It was great. But he did one of the
What
things.
did that guy ask?
Is there any chance of a St. Elmo's Fire sequel?
he
Or
really
was there
needed to know.
talks? Or was there talks for a St. Elmo's Fire sequel?
And
Yes. Yeah.
there were talks, or
There
there's
were
still
talks,
a possibility.
and now there is a possibility.
There
of
is a
something.
possibility.
So
Well, whenever things being remade, yeah, that would make sense.
they're doing a Brat Pack miniseries. He said so that keep an eye out for that.
Oh, okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Hollywood Insider.
Yeah.
Thomas Mosslander III.
So after the
Intern.
show, after the show, we all get to our seats. We stay in our seats, and then they announce the instructions to meet Rob Lowe, and they say you have to take everything out of your pockets, because I guess they don't want Rob Lowe getting stabbed. And then
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Man, you think about that. Just because we're around all these live shows all the time, like, oh wait, no, he's the level of star. Something weird could happen.
yeah,
Yeah,
So-
he's at least as popular as Monica Seles was.
Fair stab to
Yeah.
popularity ratio.
I don't know who that is.
We know.
So we get in line and we're waiting to meet Rob Lowe, and it's
Yeah.
great. And
Were you nervous?
oh, I was so nervous. Guy, I was shaking. I was excited. I was wearing jeans, so that was good. Otherwise, you would have seen my knees shaking. And
No man prees at the Rob Lowe show.
yeah. Anyway, so we get up to Rob Lowe, and I'm next in line, and I start to walk forward, and I walk up, and he reaches his hand out for a handshake.
Yes.
And I shake it like a normal human being, Gardner.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Man, oh man.
And he goes, "Hi, I'm Rob. Nice to meet you."
Oh,
And I go,
wow.
I'm Tommy. And I was like,
Did you make that sound?
I think I did.
Oh!
Right.
It was great. And
You
he
squeaked.
Well, it's not that bad because the lady like 3 before me started crying.
Oh, no.
Like full on crying, giving him hugs. It was great. And I noticed every woman that came up to him, he would give a little kiss on the cheek
Did he
before
give
they
you a
left.
kiss
Did you get a
on the
smooch?
cheek?
I didn't get a kiss on the cheek.
He thought you were a minor.
I got a
I'm past
handshake.
that phase.
I got a handshake, and he said, "Good luck at comedy," because I think at one point I went, I think I
boy.
did that.
You don't even know what you said to him?
It was
So
real.
how
weird.
did you not? I mean, this is your trademark now. You got to get people to fist bump you, and you rap it.
They didn't want to
Paper
do.
over rock.
Thank
They didn't
you.
want to do anything that seemed like it might be promote. They wanted it very. How would you put it? Like very
Straightforward,
very
straight-laced,
straightforward, professional. They didn't want. I don't think they wanted anything maybe.
No fast move. No,
Are
no.
they afraid he's going to flash up a white power sign unknowingly or
yeah,
something like that?
stuff like that.
They were watching for
And
people that were going to drop kick him.
And I understand that,
Oh, yeah.
so I wasn't gonna push it. But then my dad came up and we took a picture with my dad. And one of the reasons me and my dad go ghost hunting is
Oh, no.
because of watching. What?
Travis, calm down.
No, okay, no.
No, go on. Go on, Tom.
One of the reasons
I'm
we-
here for you.
One of the reasons me and my dad go ghost hunting and Bigfoot hunting and other types
Yes.
of monster hunting.
Will you start doing this horseback? That would be so much more fun if you guys were on horseback for these things.
I'll
or at
ride a
on
horse.
Either that or on three-wheelers.
Well, I
I need you
wanna-
to be really white trash or on horses.
We're gonna do the Gettysburg stuff, so I think maybe I'll ride a horse for that.
Ooh.
So
Now-
my dad is like, hey, by the way, the reason me and my son go ghost hunting and stuff is because of your show, The Low Files. And he was like, oh, that's amazing. And he got really excited and really happy. And then my dad goes, do you have any tips for Bigfoot hunting?
Oh, okay.
And guys, me and my dad had a conversation with Rob Lowe about hunting Bigfoot.
So what were his tips? This
His
is pretty
tips
cool.
were, first of all, go in the woods.
Yeah.
Thank
Uh,
you, Rob.
That's a good
Thank
one.
you.
He gave us very specific places to go. He was like doing the hand gestures. He was like, all right, what you need to do is you need to go to the Arkansas-Oklahoma border. They have some woods up there that are really nice for the wood apes. And then he mentioned That's what they're called.
Okay.
And then he mentioned
How many of these have been
Travis-
captured on film?
Travis, stop it. Several. I can show you videos on the break of Bigfoot.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
I won't. I don't even need to see the evidence. I'll just stand down.
I had a conversation with Rob Lowe about hunting Bigfoot, guys.
I enjoy
It was
that.
great.
I enjoy that.
He was super
I got
cool
3
about
loads
it.
of laundry done. Buddy.
Stop it. Here's the best part.
Oh boy.
Here's the best part. It was a really quick conversation,
Yeah.
but it wasn't because Rob Lowe wanted to stop. Rob Lowe would have kept talking about it, and that was amazing. It was the people who were like, all right, come on, let's go. We got to go.
Handlers.
Why don't
Yeah.
you hush? Didn't you hush them? Like
Yeah, you
hush
do have
all
a
of
really
us?
As I asked,
super
stop it.
annoying hush.
I tried, but Rob
Yeah.
Lowe was like, I'm sorry. And then he shook our hands.
Did you ask about ghosts at all?
No, he talked about maybe wanting to go to the Lizzie Borden house soon.
Where you've been?
Yeah, where I have. Was that a ghost?
I don't. Probably not.
Oh boy, guys. Conjured it up. Anyway.
He was gonna stay there, but the sequins off of one of the taller women in a bridal party scraped his cheek, and he got a little miffed.
Anyway, yeah, it was
How many
amazing, guys.
bedazzled jeans did you see? Be honest.
Oh, quite a few.
Thank you.
They had the ones where it had like the sparkles going down the side.
Was it the expensive bedazzled jeans with the Victoria's Secret sweatshirt top? Like how
No,
did that
these are
work?
Walmart bedazzled
Oh,
jeans.
okay, gotcha. Some Tasmanian
Come on, it's
devil. gear.
Nashville.
Okay, gotcha. Travis, any questions? You missed some of the discussion. I'm sure you have lots to learn from Tommy and his Rob Lowe attendance.
Just a few questions.
All right.
First
Genuine
off,
interest.
where does this obsession with Rob Lowe come from? Is it because of he's a good-looking guy, he's a great actor? Where did this start for you?
Well, I started watching him in Parks and Rec, and then it kind of occurred to me that he's in a bunch of other things. Like he's in Tommy Boy, he's in Wayne's World, he's in all of these movies. He was in The Outsiders, which was one of my favorite movies growing up, and books. And so he's always been around for me, and so I don't know. It seemed like it would be a cool thing to go do to meet Rob Lowe, and Rob Lowe seems like a pretty cool dude. And then the Lowe file came on, and that really put him over the top for me because that means he also likes ghosts.
Travis,
And I guess that was going to be my follow-up. You had an opportunity to, talk to Rob Lowe for at least 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and you spent that discussing where to find Bigfoot.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think that's.
Hey, really quick, Travis.
I think that's what you do in that.
Hold on,
case.
really quick.
I'm with Tommy here.
What original thing would you talk to him about? What original thing would you pick?
all right, I'm Rob Lowe. Travis, I'm Rob Lowe. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm smiling. I've got white teeth, and
And I will interrupt if it was asked during the meet and greet.
I've just had the third woman whisper in my ear, "They'll sleep with me even though their husband's in the car." And now
and he
you walk
really
up.
loves his family, guys. Like, it was apparent how much he loved his family. It was really nice. 29 years sober last week. His
Really?
kid graduated law school last night. It was great. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Anyway.
Okay, so Rob Lowe's here. I would have asked, Rob, why did you leave West Wing so early?
Asked during the Q&A.
Oh, really? What was his answer?
Other engagements. He had other
It was
things
the
he had to-
hottest show on television.
They didn't pay him enough, is what you hear
Yeah.
that.
He was the highest paid cast member.
He
He
talked
wanted
about
more.
how he turned down Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, that's interesting. He said
Yeah,
that married.
his wife calls it the $80 million fuck up.
She wanted that Grey's Anatomy money,
I was
not
gonna-
that West Wing money.
Yeah, see, I actually appreciate that a lot because it reminds you that no matter how famous you are, how successful you are, there's always a good chance your partner's gonna be like, "Is that all you got?"
Yeah,
That's the best.
all right.
That's what I like learning
What else?
from that.
What other original thing would you ask, buddy?
How about politicians?
Why?
Sorry, go
Why
ahead.
didn't he check the ID?
I'm pretty sure that wasn't asked during the Q&A, was it, Tommy?
It was
Yeah, I'm
not
almost
even
certain that was
glossed
not asked.
over.
Any political questions asked, not pertaining to West Wing? He puts it out that he's conservative, and that gets people going on Twitter sometimes.
During the show, somebody went, 42. If that gives you any indication of how that went. Yeah.
So no real political talk?
No, it was no real political talk because you could tell what everybody's politics were just by sitting in the room.
Gotcha.
It was Nashville, so yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I can't say that I'm surprised.
Oh, he came out and he was like, "This is my show, stories I only tell my friends, and I'm telling you these stories because I consider us friends now, right?" He did that thing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're friends."
So you're friends with Rob Lowe.
And then
Good for
somebody, a woman from the back, went, "Friends with benefits."
Oh, nice.
you shoulda went-
Nice, Cheryl.
And then when this is the thing about Rob Lowe is he's new at this, and this was his first show he's done, or his second show he's done since October. So he doesn't know how to handle hecklers. So it just kind of
interesting.
messed up his flow,
Yeah.
and then he went right back into it.
You should have been back in the back there, Tommy. Eat shit.
Yeah. It's a sign of endearment, I promise.
All right.
Travis, you did miss Tommy talking about how fit Rob Lowe is.
Man, is he?
Whoa.
He's more fit than you, Travis.
That's not a thing. Like, don't let his confidence change you. No.
His leg muscles are better than mine.
Oh.
That's
I'm
let me tell you.
I'm so
He
confused.
said
right
he's
now.
got a really nice body.
I can see that. Rob
was-
Lowe, like when he does post on the socials, he's somewhere swimming in the ocean generally with his sons. And so yeah, he's a guy that when he's on socials, he's generally doing it with the shirt off.
Chris, hold up your arm really quick. Like flex your muscle.
Is he
It was
is
like
he that?
It was like that, but toned.
I'd still beat his ass. That's my answer to everything.
Kelly.
I'll slap that 60-year-old
He-
man around.
He did say that he's really bad at fighting.
Of
he got in a
course
bar,
he is. Why would he be in a fight?
He got in a bar fight once, and he was like, I thought I'd be good at it because I've kicked a ton of ass in TVs and movies. And he was like, but then like all of my punches were like 2 inches away.
That sounds like a bit.
But that's also. I'm also interested that was interesting that he is this now prominent conservative. That's what I guess he's calling himself. Considering that he's been around some very, very liberal people in many of
I'm
his projects. I mean,
pretty
he spent,
sure he was hated.
4 to 5 seasons in Parks and Rec, and Amy Poehler is an incredibly liberal actor and
almost-
writer at that.
It's almost like people with differing views can sometimes work together just fine.
I've read that he was kind of hated on The West Wing because of his views.
I've read that as well. I know that when they do their reunions, they often leave Rob out of the picture.
Well,
yeah.
And didn't him and Bradley Whitford get into a little tiff on Twitter within the past several
Yeah,
months,
that
several
was
weeks?
when, and that's why I say quotations on the conservative, because I think some of the positions that Rob has taken recently have very little to do with politics, hence why I think he has rubbed his liberal friends the wrong way.
You think he's doing the pro wrestling thing? Calm that effing hand
Travis.
down. You better tamp that hand down. Right
I don't know if he's I don't know why people say the things they say when it comes to today's politics, but I think of recent Rob Lowe has decided to take the Fox and Friends approach instead of the traditional conservative Reagan approach.
What's the Fox and Friends?
So I
approach?
think that's what the Fox
Everything
and
is
Friends
fine.
approach is. It's basically state-ran media. It's just basically I'm going to regurgitate what
Gotcha. I
other
gotcha.
people
Travis,
have said. Yeah.
I wonder then if like he gave the West Wing answer of like other obligations, if maybe the reason he did leave was because of his personal views. I don't know that he didn't.
I would imagine that it was. I mean, like I said, that set was. I mean, those actors, Martin Sheen, he's not only a prominent liberal, but he's an activist. Bradley Whitford, an activist. Aaron Sorkin, the creator of The West Wing, an activist. So these weren't just people who had liberal or democratic point of views. These folks were literally in the streets, pushing liberal agendas. So that probably is a reason as to why he ended up off the show.
Do you really think that could be a thing? I guess once you're to a certain point with money, then you're like, I don't need this money. I can do whatever. I would think it always, 99.9% of the time comes down to pennies and agents more so than your views, because you just mentioned Martin Sheen. that's a man Rob's known for 50 plus
Like
years.
I said, did you hear my story about his home video?
No,
Travis?
I missed that part.
Okay,
No, sir.
he showed a home video with him, Chad Lowe, Emilio Estevez, and Charlie Sheen filmed in Martin Sheen's backyard.
Hilarious. That's outstanding.
It was
That's
really good.
cool.
So yeah, like what Chris said, he did know Martin Sheen forever.
But Rob Lowe, I think he's one of those guys, talent wise, he's an incredible talent. So I think he also realized that no matter what my political beliefs are, I'm going to always find work. And I think considering where his career went after the West Wing, he was very right. So
And it
I
might
think
help-
you're right.
Might
No, go
help-
ahead, Gardner.
Might help an actor too that it seems at least that even if you're disagreeing politically, has at least a pleasant demeanor about him.
Oh my gosh.
When he does.
Oh,
so.
Say what you want about podcasts and truly knowing people and everything. You could not get a more opposite spectrum, politically whatever, than Rob Lowe and Mark Maron.
I
And-
don't agree with his politics.
Shut up, Tommy. On
But he's great.
WTF, he was fantastic at discussing. And Maron, who is not nice, if he thinks an interview sucked, he's like, it was whatever. He was giggling. He was giggling about his talk with Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it's like, if that shows you something, Travis, Tommy, Gardner, whatever,
Right.
that people can work and get things done together.
Or it helps that you look like Rob Lowe. So that helps your argument.
Do you get around? Do you get along with every black guy you've ever met in your
No,
life? Like,
Think about it though. But think about it. Think about conservatives who make the arguments. That's why someone like Tommy Lahren is successful. That's why a lot of these conservatives on Fox look the way that they look, because when you look a certain way, the argument works. And I think if you're Rob Lowe and he's making a political argument to you, you're more receptive to what he has to say as opposed to someone like Alex Jones or Glenn Beck.
frog-looking folks.
But Tom,
Exactly.
I mean, but Miss Laren though. I mean, she's not as pleasant as Rob. Is my point though. Like
That's
Rob
true.
Lowe is
That's
I,
true.
I,
very
I
pleasant.
could be around Rob Lowe probably, and
Very
he's
charming.
just fine.
He's
just
so
because,
pleasant.
Yeah.
Hey, if I might disagree with you.
See,
But you know what? I just really want to have this coffee and smoke a few cigarettes so we can make this work.
yeah.
I
see,
think, yeah, okay, then we're going to be okay.
where Travis, I understand your point being made, but I guess this one I just don't think it applies, because actually in that case I think he would be more willing to go in on him. Like Travis, if there's another black male that's your age that's espousing a certain point of view, I think you're going to feel more comfortable taking his ass down because that looks that way too. So that's just my mindset with it.
Who is like, in terms of good-looking older actor like Rob Lowe, who is the black equivalent, Travis? I have a person in mind.
You think a lot of hot black
Older. How old is Rob Lowe again?
He's in his I think I can look it up really quick.
mid-50s, early
Yeah.
60s, right?
Let me look it up.
Who would be the equivalent?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the
55.
first person that comes to mind would be probably Will Smith.
Okay.
55.
I got someone better, I think.
Will Smith is incredibly charming. I think Will just turned 50.
I'm
And
looking it
so,
up now.
I think he turned 50 or 51 recently.
I just
So
looked
I
up-
can absolutely see him being that person. Like, because
He's
Will
50.
Smith, because there are things that even when Will Smith, when he goes on his inspirational social media talks,
Yeah.
while I don't necessarily always agree with what he says, I think the way he says in it, because how charming he is, like Rob Lowe, I'm willing to hear him out as opposed to someone who perhaps looks like Tommy and decided to have a YouTube channel.
The person I'm thinking of is 54 years old. I don't know his
Mhm.
demeanor as well as Rob Lowe's, I guess. But I'm
Who
thinking
you going with?
Blair Underwood.
Oh, that's a good one, Gardner. That's a very good one. I think, I could
In
definitely
terms
see that.
of
Blair-
looks,
Yes.
like Blair Underwood, like my mom she would make eyes at him. It was like,
Tommy. Tommy, let's go grab a drink. Let's let Gardner work through
yeah,
this.
Gardner, is everything okay?
it's
I always wanted a black stepdad.
it's Blair Underwood, and then
Gardner.
oh man,
has
she
daddy
loves her
Thank
some
you.
Shamar Moore right now. She loves her
Ooh.
some Shamar
Shamar
Moore.
is pretty cool.
She enjoying SWAT? She wants
I'm
Shamar Moore
sure
to
she
swat
is.
that
Do we
ass.
do we have Shamar Moore to thank for, I don't know, 40% of cheating instances with white women and black men in the greater Midwest. I mean, probably, right? Like Shamar Moore, this is your fault, you handsome bastard. Now every black dude.
Stop smiling like that!
Who even partially resembles his haircut is just making waves. Like in a college town, every fat dude that's black that's over 6'1" and 300 pounds, they can thank every defensive tackle from the University of Missouri ever for the random girls they meet up with. Shamar Moore, you ruined so many marriages.
Now I
Moore
want
is
Shamar Moore.
amazing.
I want Rob Lowe to make a guest appearance on SWAT this season,
Oh,
just so
man.
we can get Shamar
That's
Moore.
too
and
hot.
Rob
It's
Lowe.
too
Yeah.
attractive.
Oh boy.
That'd be
Too
too
much.
attractive.
It's too much.
Oh, boy.
You can't do that in a show.
Right.
That would be the hottest episode on TV ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Add David Borneas.
Oh, you're going with David
Tommy.
Borneas.
If you could, Tommy, if you could take some notes, will you just note that Gardner is sweating and looks slightly amorous?
Well,
Would
I
you
was,
put that- he's
I was
getting
thinking
into
of this. One of my favorite moments ever watching football with my dad is watching a Tennessee Titans game.
Gardner likes
More black dudes in
And
Gardner's
black
purview.
And
Travis,
Ten-
are you
and-
noticing something?
And Tennessee's doing pretty well, so the Titans take out their star running back, Eddie George,
boy.
who's on the sideline with his helmet off.
Oh no.
My dad and I are watching the game in silence like we normally would, and
Not telling each other we love each other.
Hey,
that's
that
for
sounds relatable.
and then out of nowhere, Eddie George is a handsome black man, and that's what I remember about watching football with my dad.
Who said that?
My dad,
Just out of nowhere.
Just out of
in
nowhere.
the middle of watching the football game.
that Eddie George is a handsome black man.
Gardner goes to his room. Cool Runnings
And I-
VHS is under his dad's
And,
pillow.
and I look, and I didn't say anything right away, and I just let it sit there for a second. And then I finally, what did you say? and he goes, you heard me. I go, look at, and he goes, look at him. So my dad's got
Oh,
Eddie George,
man.
and my mom's got Shamar Moore, it seems.
Is this a good time for an ad read?
This is a great time for an ad read. No matter who you love, who you find attractive, maybe Gardner and his father can take Matt Whitener to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill.
Oh,
Is
okay.
Matt in your dad's purview of what would work? I don't know, man.
My dad likes
Maybe.
some running backs.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we'll look into that.
He
We'll find.
He likes tailbacks, does he?
Yeah, he does. There it is. Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Be sure to find their location on Facebook by going to their Facebook page. They serve food all throughout the St. Louis area. Fresh, unique, family-owned. That's Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Tommy, you got to get your dad, maybe whenever Rob Lowe comes to town, you three can triple date with Gardner, his dad, and a black dude to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. That's right. Family-owned right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Big shout out to Buzz for supporting us. Travis, what's the most you've learned this hour? What do we take away from this? I need to know, man.
I'm glad you guys were able to express your love for men I didn't know you held so deeply in your hearts.
Yeah.
I'm just
Your
very
turn.
happy you two were able to express that.
Tommy's like, I hope Travis says me.
Anyway,
And this is why, telling stories like this is probably why my dad didn't really tell me he loved me till I was like 17. So, yeah.
Hey man, I get it. My dad's like that.
I was in the hospital and they didn't know what was wrong with me at the time. So, like,
He had no choice. He felt obligated to
yes,
say
like,
that.
so they're trying to figure it out. They're talking about exploratory surgery and all this kind of things. Like, you're going to have to stay overnight. And that, my dad touches my foot on his way out of the hospital room.
Feet, they were
and
probably disgusting.
Says, I love you. And then walks out and the lights go off. And that entire night I had trouble sleeping because all I could think was, my dad told me he loved me. He never does that. And I'm staying overnight in this hospital.
I'm
going to die. I'm going to die tonight.
One
All I could think of is say, yep, this is the night I'm dying.
One time I was in the hospital about to have a surgery, and my dad,
Oh.
I was getting an IV put in, and I started crying, and my dad goes, you got nothing to cry about. And then he left the room, and I didn't see him until I woke up.
Oh, no.
I woke up
Chris,
2 days later, and I was like,
commercial.
No, translation. Let me translate that for you, Tommy. He was saying, "I love you." Is
Yeah,
what he was
that's
saying.
what he meant.
Yeah.
I see. I want to end on this super weird, sad note, but I want to throw it back to the homoerotic of sorts here. Travis, how do you feel that I'm now I'm demanding Tommy dress? I mean, he's got the man prees on, which I don't appreciate, but we've started. He's got a navy blue short sleeve button down on, and you know what? I know how you like your white guys, Travis. So I'm doing this for you. I've suggested Tommy only wear clothing that looks like it was shrunk in my dryer.
I'm just
Why don't
happy
you
we
just
have
string me
people
some
on the
shirts?
show that can actually wear clothes that fit them. So good for you, Tommy, because finally
Thank you.
we have somebody on We Are Live that has clothes that are properly sized.
This shirt is too small. I'm wearing these pants because I lost my belt.
That'll do it.
All right.
Great first hour. Big thanks to Tech Electronics. Local business helped us get the studio filled out with all this great equipment for your business. Maybe you need fire alarms installed. Maybe you need security systems. You need tech backup. That's Tech Electronics, here to help you all. Quick break on We Are Live. Gardner's got to get him some menthol. We'll be back on the other side.